Jesus Christ. I can't breathe in that thing. Oh, man. How do murderers kill in full costume? Running around and stuff? What a complete load. Hey guys, it's Nick with Braindead, and in this video, we'll be recapping the events of Halloween 2018. A movie that I already did a bit for, so this film might just be my second favorite in the entire franchise, behind the first one, of course. But don't quote me on that, because I still really like the original Halloween 2. For all the quote-unquote hate that it gets for introducing the sister angle and giving Laurie pretty much nothing to do throughout the whole thing, I still think that it's a very solid follow-up to the best horror movie ever made. Best in my opinion. Halloween 2018 really holds its own though. I mean, I really like all the new characters and how they're written. I like that the story is very simple, just like the original. No wacky cult antics or whatever. The kills, the updated score, Michael's new mask, there's just so much to love about this movie. But if there is at least one thing that I can't get past with H4O, it's the fact that no one, not a single character in this movie had the thought of, maybe we shouldn't move Michael so close to Halloween again. Seems to be in poor taste, you know? And like, yeah, I know, they're not expecting him to escape or anything, but why can't you at least try to move him on, like, March 23rd or something? I have no more strong feelings about this movie. Let's get into it. The movie opens with Okay, so it opens with a ticking clock. A ticking clock that belongs to Smith Grove's Rehabilitation Center, where Michael has been for the last 40 years, after he was captured following the events of the original Halloween. He's about to be transferred to a no visitors allowed maximum security facility, so true crime podcasters Aaron and Dana are visiting him for an episode of their show. You know, before they're robbed of that sweet, sweet clickbait. I see you, fellow internet people. They're met by Dr. Sartain, a former student of Dr. Loomis and current doctor of the aforementioned Boogeyman. He takes them to a courtyard where Michael's getting some fresh air, and Aaron starts asking him questions. But of course, it's all in vain.
He can speak. He just chooses not to.
Aaron doesn't take kindly to the silent treatment though, so he pulls out the mask Michael wore 40 years ago, and the crowd goes crazy. You get it? Because they're in a mental institution? The crowd goes crazy. Oh god, I'm so funny. After getting nothing from the killer, the podcasters then head to Laurie Strode's abode to interview her. They get a little farther with her than they got with Michael by offering Laurie $3,000 in cash, something she gives to her granddaughter a little later in the movie. Unfortunately for them, a little farther still isn't much, and Laurie kicks them out after Dana asks a pretty insulting question about Laurie losing her daughter to protective services.
I'll accept my payment.
Boss. Meanwhile, we are introduced to some of this timeline's new main characters, including Karen, Laurie's daughter, Ray, Karen's husband, and Allison, Laurie's granddaughter. The family is discussing their plans for that evening, which includes a celebratory dinner where Allison's parents will finally meet her boyfriend, Cameron. Don't worry, we'll meet him later, it'll be fun. I promise. Allison catches her mother in a lie when she asks if she invited Lori to their dinner. Karen says she did, but Allison had called Lori herself, confirming that that was a lie. Allison vents about this to her friends, Vicky and Dave, which leads them to talking about the events of Halloween 78, where they solidify this new timeline by dismissing the Lori, Michael, brother-sister plotline.
Wasn't it her brother who, like, cold-blooded mutilated all those teenagers?
No, that's just a bit that some people made up to make him feel better, I think.
Dave also tries dismissing the importance of the 78 events, saying that it's not that big a deal by today's standards, which is actually kind of fucked up. Like, people were still murdered, and Lori was still extremely traumatized, dude.
Just shut the fuck up, Dave. Shut up.
Yeah, shut the fuck up, Dave. While in class, hey, wait, hold on. I see you, Freddy Homage, you're not fucking sneaky. While in class, Allison gazes out the window to see she's now being stalked by the ghost of Jamie Lee Curtis. As Lori gives her granddaughter the money from earlier, they chat about how Allison wishes her mother and Lori would get along. But Lori truly believes that preparing Karen for the cruelty of this world we live in is worth their broken relationship. That make you jump? If so, good, cause it gets me every fucking time and I need people to feel my pain. The point of this scene is that Lori's a gun nut now. Thanks, scene! Later that night, at the previously mentioned dinner, Lori shows up drunk and ruins the event. But if anyone deserves to get sloshed here, it's Lori. Because tonight is also the night that Michael is being transferred. An affair that, so far, has a 100% failure rate. Looks like they're 0 for 2 here, as a father and son come across the ditched bus and the inmates wandering around.
Since when did they let them wander around?
And a quick side note here, apparently the kid's name is Lumpy. The father calls him that, and that's how he's listed on IMDb, and I just think that's great. Anyway, the father gets out to inspect the crash and to see if everyone's okay, and when Lumpy can't identify where they are to the police, he too gets out to find some indication. Finding a half-dead officer and not getting a response when he calls for his dad, the kid goes on the bus to look for him, but he only finds Dr. Sartain, who he accidentally shoots. Lumpy runs back to the car, but much like Annie Brackett, he doesn't check the back seat like he should've and gets his neck snapped for his carelessness. Another newcomer to the franchise, Officer Hawkins, gets called out to the crash, finds all the dead bodies, and a still alive Dr. Sartain, whom he takes to the hospital. Elsewhere, the podcasters visit Judith Meyer's gravesite, not realizing that Michael's there too, watching them from afar. He follows them to a gas station where they miss him multiple times as he goes around silently killing people. Dana goes to the bathroom while Erin pumps gas, and while she's alone, the newly formed Shape seizes the opportunity and attacks her in her stall. Erin, who had just discovered the bodies of the gas station people, bursts in to save her, but Michael is too strong and kills the couple, Erin with repeated blows to the head, and Dana by snapping her neck. $10 as Erin comes back and Halloween ends. If I can actually get this video out before then. He then retrieves his mask from the trunk of their car, and with that, the boogeyman's back, baby! Michael heads to a random street in Haddonfield and goes on a mini killing spree. He kills a woman in her kitchen with a hammer that he found in their shed, then discards that for a more suitable weapon. Michael. Okay, thank God. Ooh, man, isn't it kind of fucked up that for a moment you actually kind of think that Michael is capable of that? Knife in hand, he makes his way to the next house over, where a lone woman is too busy chatting on the phone to notice Michael standing outside her window. The shape turns into a shadow, then appears in the woman's house and stabs her through the neck. Oh yeah, Mikey still got it. Meanwhile, at the school's Halloween dance, Allison and Cameron are tearing it up as gender-swapped Bonnie and Clyde when they get an invite from Vicky to come over to the place she's babysitting so they can all get high together. Something that doesn't quite sit right with Julian, Vicky's babysittee.
I know you talking about smoking weed. Don't lie to me. How much do you get paid?
Come on, let's go.
How much do you get paid? I love that line. As Julian gets put to bed, Allison catches another girl kissing Cameron. He doesn't seem to be too bothered by it though. He tries to explain himself, but he's too intoxicated to form proper sentences, so he just acts like a Neanderthal and throws her phone into the nacho cheese bowl.
What? What the fuck?
They have nachos at their school dances? We didn't even have punch at mine. This is bullshit, man. Allison, understandably upset, leaves the dance with Oscar, a mutual friend of her and Cameron. At the same time, Dave shows up at Julian's place to go skeet shooting with Vicky, and as they're just getting started, they hear a noise from upstairs. Julian hops down the stairs and says that he saw someone outside his bedroom door.
Ghosts and goblins, little buddy.
Shut up!
Yeah! Shut up, Dave! Thinking this is just a case of overactive imagination, Vicky goes upstairs to check things out and lies to the child, saying she checked everywhere. She eventually gets Julian back into bed while Dave is downstairs fucking with the family's motorcycle, and very quickly pays for her lie when she tries to close the closet door, and out pops the boogeyman. Julian flees, but when Vicky tries to run, she slips on her fuzzy socks, allowing Michael to grab her by the leg and stab her to death. Dave hears her screams and probably tries his hardest to avenge his girlfriend, but is killed off screen. See, here's his body later when Hawkins finds it. Michael still got it. Speaking of Officer Hawkins, he heard about the incident from dispatch, a call Lori also hears on her police scanner, and they both head over to the house to check for boogies. Once on the premises, Hawkins finds Vicky dead in a chair just as Lori arrives and spots the shape in the second floor window. Michael's all like, "Fine, I can see I'm not welcome here," and casually walks away as he's getting shot at by Hawkins. After getting some distance away, Michael is wounded by Lori, who shoots him in the shoulder. He does still get away though, because
You can't kill the boogeyman.
catching up with Allison and Oscar, they're on their way home when Oscar suggests a shortcut, then tries to make a move on Allison. Obviously, she's not into it though, since she literally just broke up with her boyfriend like 10 minutes ago. She goes on without him as Oscar is left there to vent to Mr. Elrod, the owner of the property he's on. But hold on a second, that's no Mr. Elrod. It's a boogeyman, bitch! After getting his hand slashed, Oscar tries to escape over Mr. Elrod's fence, getting his cape caught on the bottom and sealing his fate. When Allison comes back to see what's happening, she finds Oscar dead as Michael steps out of the shadows. She runs away screaming and is taken in by some very helpful neighbors. All while this is happening, Lori brought the police over to Karen's place to take them all to Lori's anti-shape fortress of a house. She then brings her family down to the bunker underneath her kitchen that's stocked full of non-perishable food items? Is that all in preparation for Michael? Why? That's weird, but more importantly, it's stocked with guns. Guns that she hands out just in case the shape manifests in their location. The only one still missing from the bunch is Allison, who is picked up from her savior's house by Officer Hawkins so they can go boogeyman hunting. Sartain is tagging along too at the order of Sheriff Barker, something Hawkins wasn't too happy about.
He's an asset.
He's not an asset, he's a liability.
Oh no, he's going on this hunt.
They eventually find Michael wandering around town and Hawkins runs his ass over. Sartain claims that Michael is dead, and to show his distaste for police brutality, he stabs Hawkins in the neck with a penknife. He also does this stupid thing where he puts on the mask, but it just looks goofy on him. I don't know, maybe if he had some coveralls and a knife or something. Yeah, actually I can kind of see it. He loads Michael into the back of the police car with Allison, then heads off to Laurie Strode's place so they can have their final showdown. But Allison gets Sartain to stop the car by saying that Michael had spoken a word to her, and while he's trying to pry that word out of her, Michael wakes up and kicks his way out of the vehicle. Alright, how many times do we need to go over this? You can't kill the boogeyman. You can kill Dr. Sartain though, and that's exactly what Michael does, squashing the doctor's head with his boot as Allison takes off into the forest. They're not too far from Laurie's place though, as the two cops stationed on the premises spot Hawkins' car from their position. They pull up to find a pancake-headed Dr. Sartain, but no Mr. Myers in sight. In their sight. He kills the officers off-screen and drives their car the rest of the way to Laurie's, fooling Ray into coming outside to see what's going on. As he finds the festively placed bodies of the cops, the shape appears from behind Ray and strangles him to death, but not before Ray can get a shot off, alerting the rest of the family to Michael's presence. Karen goes down into the bunker while her mother goes off to make sure that evil dies tonight. Looks like Evil's getting the first move though, by smashing through the window and grabbing Laurie by the face. But she retaliates by blowing a few of Michael's fingers off. She too retreats to the bunker as her unwanted guest makes his way into her house. And by the sound of it, he's made his way upstairs, prompting Laurie to come out and go on the offensive. She begins clearing closets and rooms with her shotgun, locking down any room that's safe, until she finds a bloody closet door, behind which she finds Ray's corpse, stuffed up in there like a shoebox full of old photos. Michael surprises Laurie from behind a mannequin and subsequently sends her out the second-story window. That's when Allison shows up, distracting Michael long enough for Laurie to pull a patented boogeyman vanishing act. Karen gets her daughter into the bunker with her, but Michael ain't no fool and knows exactly where they went. He tears off the island counter, causing Karen to cry in hysterics. Or at least, that's what she wants him to think.
Gotcha.
The Strode lineage then proceeds to give Myers the beating of his lifetime, stabbing him, bonking him, and sending him down the stairs, the last of which knock him down long enough for Allison to get away, but not long enough for Karen to. Feeling a little left out of this beatdown action, Allison grabs a knife and stabs Michael's hand, freeing her mother from his grasp. Laurie then pulls a lever that traps him in the bunker. She starts filling the place with gas and lights a flare, causing the whole house to go up in flames. The movie ends with Michael vanishing for one last time, while the family make their way outside and the truck from TCM1 pulling up and bringing them to safety. Just kidding, there's a pseudo after credits scene where you can hear Michael breathing through his mask, indicating that he is still alive. Hey, thanks for watching this recap. If you made it this far, you should probably subscribe because you like the content, right? Right? Anyway, I would like to apologize for how spread out these videos are going to be coming out. I've had a lot of stuff going on in my personal life and it's just been really getting in the way. So I do very much appreciate your patience as I get my shit together. And I hope you'll stick with me because I do still plan on getting these videos out. It's just might be longer in between them than I would, or even you would really like. But hey, if you want more stuff from me, I got a streaming channel that you can check out. Link is in the description. I've got a Twitch channel that I go live sometimes on. I'll be editing this video over there if you want to just hang out or something. And if you want, you can follow me on all my social medias. I'm at BrainDeadHorror everywhere. Otherwise, that's all I got for you for this one. So thanks for hanging out and I'll see you guys again real soon. It looks like Dave. Shut the fuck up.